Good morning, you listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. I'm at Greenbuild in Boston, and I'm with Paul Murray, the Vice President of Sustainability with Shaw Industries. Paul, how you doing?
Very good, Kemp. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us today.
You know, I've been noticing that there are fewer and fewer flooring exhibitors here, but you're still here in a big way, and we're sitting actually in a classroom environment, and I'm sure you'll tell me a little bit more about that because you've elected to give some education on the show floor, which is an interesting decision. So let's start out, though, talking about kind of what the latest buzz is in this whole sustainability and environmental subject.
Well, you know, the latest buzz really happened just yesterday that U.S. Green Building Council Institute, which is the educational side of their business, and the Cradle Product Innovation Institute, which does Cradle to Cradle, announced a partnership. So it has really taken Cradle to Cradle to the next level, something that Shaw's been doing since the late 90s, early 2000 when we partnered with Bill McDonough and started doing Cradle to Cradle design. So we're pretty excited about that news, and we think it's going to be good for the industry.
And actually, the seminar you just had a few minutes ago was on that very topic, wasn't it?
Well, yes, because we really looked around last year and we said, you know what, we need to really educate the architects and interior designers around Cradle to Cradle. We had an inkling that this was coming, and we knew that more and more people are starting, because of LEED version 4 included Cradle to Cradle in its points, if you will, that you can gain points by using Cradle to Cradle design products. And so we thought we better help educate the whole body of architects and interior designers. So we signed up to do this educational lab. They're called learning labs right out here on the show floor, where about 100 people sit through these presentations. We're going to have 5 or 6 of them here on the showroom floor.
And some of the key points for those people that might not be aware with what Cradle to Cradle is, can you just summarize a couple of key points?
Yeah, it's really 5 attributes when you do a Cradle to Cradle design product. And you add this filter, if you will, to do these 5 things on top of the normal things that you think about design: aesthetics, durability, wear, cost, those things that you normally worry about. You also worry about, first, material health. What kind of healthy chemistry are you using, or unhealthy chemistry? You do an assessment down to 100 parts per million, so that's 1/100th of 1%. By weight, we know what's in our products. So we've been doing this for almost now 17, 18 years. And so you have to partner with your suppliers that give you the chemistry that you build your products with. Second, can you recycle it? Is it recyclable? So, of course, our carpet tile is a good example. We put a 1-800 number right on the back, and so we're educating the architects and interior designers on that. Third is energy. Fourth is water. Fifth is social responsibility. So you'd say, well, hold it here. Material health, how does that relate to recyclability? Well, if you have a great product, but it's made by a company that could care less about their people or care less about the water usage and energy usage, you're not really dealing with a good company. So the Institute has long then held us all to be a good corporate citizen, as well as this material health and easy to recycle concept.
Now, this whole message of transparency that you were just talking about, to get all this information out to where architects can consume it, you have to involve a third party, don't you?
Yeah, that's what the Institute is. The event that we just came from was some Shaw folks as well as somebody from the Institute talking about what do they require us to do and what do they hold us to. So this third-party certification, so it is good that these customers don't have to believe us. They're believing a third-party certification process. And so that way they can feel comfortable that it isn't just us blowing our own horn, better known as greenwashing, and that this is real and we're held to it. We have to reassess every 2 years. So they come back into our factory, do a walkthrough, they look at our records, they make sure we're talking to our suppliers, they make sure that we're down to 100 parts per million, and on down through all 5 attributes.
And you don't just make carpet tile, you've used that as an example, but all these other products like the LVT that you're offering in the commercial market, they go through that as well, right?
Well, the LVT, we're doing the material health assessment, but they can't be certified. A vinyl is not Cradle to Cradle certifiable. So that's our only product that we're not really certifying today. The 85% of Shaw products, though, are Cradle to Cradle certified. So all of our soft surfaces, polyester, nylons, all of our wood products are Cradle to Cradle assessed and certified. The material health assessment you can do on the vinyl products, you just can't get them certified. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, so, Paul, just to back up with you a little bit, I mean, you've been to Shaw, what, about 7 years?
7 years.
Okay.
It's gone fast.
Okay, and before that, you were with a furniture company. Which one was it?
That was Herman Miller.
That's right, Herman Miller. So you've been coming to Greenbuild because you've been in charge of sustainability both with Herman Miller and now here. for how many years you've been coming here?
It's got to be going on 20 years.
Yeah. How has the show evolved?
It's gotten bigger. It's gotten more and more consultants, maybe less and less manufacturers. When we first started, it was all manufacturers. We all had showrooms. You mentioned there are fewer flooring companies. There are fewer furniture companies. Part of it is the cost and how do you get people to stop and talk. Where the consultants, that's what they do, and so they're still coming to the show. It's a great place to go, though, and look at the products that are being displayed. It's a great place to see what concepts are coming up next that we should be aware of. This material health thing started showing up about 5 or 6 years ago. And, of course, we were an early adopter being 10, 15 years into it. So we were ready there to have that conversation. So we've had it for the last number of years.
Paul, didn't Shaw just announce some news recently about some investments you were making in South Carolina related to sustainability?
Well, yeah, we continue to invest and this is on our energy program. We've, for years, been doing energy efficiency and really improving our energy to the point where we're meeting goals and cutting our carbon. Anytime you cut your energy consumption, you lower carbon. Well, we're also worried about carbon in general. So a few years back, we put solar on the roof in Plant 15, and that solar array was about 1 megawatt. Well, just recently we announced that we are starting up, and it should come online early part of the first quarter of 2018, a combined heat and power. And what that does is it takes natural gas from the line, directly creates electrical energy for our Columbia plant, and that will reduce your carbon footprint because you don't have any of the line loss from the big power plants. Traditionally, you have to calculate about a 70% loss from the big power plant to when you use the energy. Now the energy is right on our doorstep. We're basically going off the grid, creating our own electrical energy. And by the way, you create hot water, so you actually get heat from it as well. So that's why it's called the combined heat and power. That announcement was just recently, and it's about 18 megawatt. So it's a pretty large unit, equivalent to small city size.
And what do you make at that plant?
We make fibers. So that's where we extrude some of our polyester nylons and heat set them and get them ready for the carpet making manufacturing process.
Okay, great. So it's good to catch up with you, Paul. And thanks for spending time with our audience. Again, been talking to Paul Murray, the Vice President of Sustainability with Shaw Industries, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.